What's the haps? I'm Meroka, and today I'm going to be taking an early look at Out There. Out There is a game developed by FibreTigre, although I suspect I'm pronouncing the name wrong. They're a French studio, but I'm not going to disgrace them by attempting to pronounce their name with a French accent, because that would only end in disaster. This is a game that's it's going to be a new one for me. It's on Android. Now, I've never covered any Android content on this channel before, so they were very good in it, and they provided me with a free Android virtual machine called BlueStacks that I'm now recording it in, which has totally revolutionized everything. I can now actually record Android content, which is weird. I mean, previously my phone is my only Android device. I don't own any iOS devices, so my phone is 2 years old and crashes when you try to run anything on it. So, and even if it would run anything, I've got no way of actually capturing the Android footage. So hey, now I can actually do Android things. So here we are. We have Out There, with a title very, very reminiscent of a old school B-movie. So liking that already. So if we jump in, we shall start a new game. And we'll get a little bit of backstory. It's the 22nd century. Mankind tries desperately to find resources beyond its exhausted planet. We have not even reached the limits of our solar system. And I'm an astronaut on a passenger line between Earth and Ganymede, one of the moons of Jupiter. And something went wrong, and when I woke up out of stasis at the other end, or cryonics, or whatever the heck, cryonics it says, I'm no longer in the solar system. You were out there. So what we have is us, all alone, aboard a spaceship, and I've got to try and find my way back. So we've got this space station, which will supply us. Interplanetary reactor is out of order. Oh no, we need to fix it. So there's a lot. This is mostly a resource management game. It's got a cool style, and most of what we're going to be doing is just flying from place to place and managing resources and trying not to run out of oxygen or fuel or armor and have the ship generally fall apart before we can get home. So it's mostly just involving dragging various elements and storing things and moving them around. So interplanetary propulsion. We have an issue with this. We cannot get interplanetary, which is a problem in interstellar space. So we need to repair it, which will cost us a little bit of iron. So you see our iron, which we had 20 tons of, now we only have 19 tons of. So each one of these slots is a individual storage unit. Each of these can hold one piece of equipment, or 20 units, 20 tons I believe, of each of the various elements, and you will run out of space very, very quickly. So resource management, very critical. You got to keep an eye on what exactly you definitely want to bring with you, which machines are absolutely essential, and which ones you can live without. You're gonna have to make some tough choices. So we are a little short on fuel. As you can see, I'm down to 80 out of 100. However, we can top that up with hydrogen. Each hydrogen provides us with 2 fuels, so the fuel tank's full. That's great. We're okay for oxygen, and our hull's okay right now. So now we can head over to the star system, and we can actually get to the mysterious space station, which will cost us 10 fuel and 6 oxygen. There is nobody here, but there's a mysterious cube which goes woo and gives us fuel for some reason, whatever. And it's going to give us a direction to go to this star. We need to get to there. We are here. And we've learned the technology of the space folder, which is how we're going to get from star to star. Previously we only had our interplanetary drive, but we need to get interstellar now. So one more unit is going to be made out of 3 tons of iron and silicium. Requires to build, but I don't have any here. Silicium. I've never heard of silicium. SC. Although on down here it says SI. Bearing in mind this is a beta product, and you may be noting the flickering of the menu here. The problem with judging this game here is I actually cannot tell whether it's an issue with the fact that the game's in beta and still has some issues to be ironed out, or if it's an issue with running the game in BlueStacks and the virtual machine's not quite as wonderful as I thought it might be. So issues with the game at this stage could be directed at either party, and it's going to be very, very difficult for me to tell which. It is a beta product. There are issues, obviously, like silicium, SC, and SI. That's just typographical, and that's the sort of thing that's easy to iron out. This kind of thing, very hard for me to actually say where the fault lies with this. So there are issues, but whether it's an issue that would be persistent in an attempting to actually run this on an Android device, I don't know. So if you were to take this and put it on your phone, would it flicker? Would it not? I have no real way of telling. My phone probably wouldn't get this far, I'm quite certain. So I think I can dismantle the cryonics module. So I'm gonna have to do away with cryonics. It's not like I'm gonna be flying this thing anyway. Apparently the passenger on a passenger liner can suddenly fly a spaceship. Why not? At any rate, the cryonic system that we're not going to be using anymore has some silicon in it, or silicium, whatever the heck it's going to be. So that's taking up a free slot, but we're gonna use it up anyway in a moment, just to make our space folder, which can let us get between the farthest stars, or at least some stars. Right now, we've got 2 stars within range. I've got, in this particular version, I've got no way of actually zooming out. Whether you could zoom out by pinching on Android, again, hard to tell, because it's a virtual machine. I'm playing this with a mouse. I only have one input, and it is clearly designed for an entirely different format. So there are issues here that I can't actually judge it on the basis of. So select a star to see its properties. Let's have a look at this one. It's a yellow dwarf. We can't see what planets it has because we haven't got the right equipment, so we need an interferometer, which is reasonable. And it's going to cost us 16 fuel and 5 oxygen. So let's go to this star. Let's hope we'll find our way back to Earth. So a cool little... It's kind of got this very much comic book style going on, which is also pretty cool. I do like the art style a lot in this game. It's very pretty, and you've got these huge spacey backdrops in the cool background. It's all cool. And we've arrived in the system, and we've got a random event. So this reminds me very, very much of those old choose-your-own-adventure books, because stuff's going to pop up, and you've got no way of knowing what anything's going to do, and your only way you're going to experience it is just to click on it and see whether it's good or not. So if you're a fan of those old books, maybe you'll like that. People who don't like putting their hands in random chance might not be quite some big fans of this. So in the Oort belt of this star system is a weird construction, a round frame revolving a silver vortex, slowly spinning on itself. I feel the words Judge Architect resonate in my mind, and I have no clue as to what it means. What should I do? So I can either leave it alone, or I can go explore it, and it could be bad or it could be good, I've got no idea. But I'm going to go just because I fancy having a look. I get closer to the vortex, the thing probes the ship computer files, and it's modifying them. After a quick look at the computer, I understand that I've lost a couple of important blueprints. But it also seems that new ones are now on file. So we've learned new technology, but I have forgotten how to make space folder. So that's obviously pretty critical in technology. If I get another random event that accidentally somehow damages my space folder, because that's totally plausible, I'm not going to be able to repair that because I don't know how to make one anymore. That's pretty critical. But I don't know what a life seed is, and the only way to find out is by looking at it. So let's have a look at it. What in the name of God is a life seed? Does it tell us? We've got a little question mark there. Yes, the marvelous technology based on mysterious energy of the Omega element, which is obviously just, you know, kind of your game's unobtainium kind of thing, made-upium. This marvelous technology based on the mysterious energy of the Omega element can terraform a rocky planet into a garden planet suitable for life. Requires 1 carbon, 1 platinum, and 1 oxygen. And that's actually... once you visit a garden planet, those resources are actually pretty easy to get hold of. That's not too bad. That's pretty easy. But of course, the whole piece of equipment is then going to take up 1 entire slot in my ship, and I can carry 20 tons less of other materials that might be useful. So hey. So this star system, what have we got? We've got 2 to explore. We've got a gas giant, which is obviously going to be mostly a hydrogen, helium kind of thing, and good for stocking up on fuel, because that's pretty much what our ship runs on. We've got a rocky planet, which is rich in metallic ores, which we can fly down to and go do a spot of drilling and haul up. It's usually going to be, for the most part, iron, but you can sometimes pick up a few other things. It's cool, so let's visit them both in turn. This one has got a dangerous atmosphere, so we might take some damage. The star also has a dangerous atmosphere, that's interesting. Normally... Oh no, the star has a dangerous atmosphere, the planet has a risky orbit. If you fly into a dangerous atmosphere, and there are indeed even worse ones, you'll usually just instantly die and it's game over, thanks, go back to the start. The gas giant in a risky orbit, we're likely to take some hull damage by flying down there, but it's probably not going to kill us. So if we fly down, see, we took 26 hull damage, which is Actually a good chunk, to be fair. We lost a bit of fuel and oxygen, but we'll lose that anytime we fly anywhere. That's okay. I can't scan it because I don't have the relevant device. I don't have a geoscan. But a probe. And we have a hydrogen probe which will go collect fuel for us. And we can choose how far into the planet we want to send it. If we send it down 1 kilometer, it won't bring up much, but it's pretty safe to do so. If we send it up to a depth of 4, it's still pretty safe. 5, 6, 7, we're into orange territory. There is a chance this thing could break when it comes back up, but it's going to bring us more stuff. If we send it to 8 or 9 or 10 kilometers deep, it's going to haul up loads of hydrogen, and we're going to have fuel for days, but there's a pretty good chance that the damn thing's going to break, and I'm going to have to fix it when it comes back up. So that's going to cost us more iron. So for the most part, I have been sticking with 7 kilometers, because it seems like it doesn't break too often at 7, it seems, not in my experience. So there we are, it didn't break. I've come back with 8 units of helium, another 20 units of helium, and another 14 hydrogen. Of course, they only stack up to 20, so I've now got 2 slots worth of hydrogen and 2 slots worth of helium. So we're done. That's what we've got out of that. I'm happy with that as a whole. I'm going to top up some of my fuel, clear up some inventory slots as well, so that hydrogen's gone. Helium is twice as effective as hydrogen at fueling my ship, but we are full, that's okay. So helium will give us 4 fuel per unit, hydrogen gives us 2. Oxygen, might as well have a top up while we're here. Always worth keeping it stocked up, you never know what you're going to run into. Iron, I suppose I'd better do, hadn't I? Wouldn't want to have something knock a chunk out of my ship and not be prepared for it. So we head back up to the star system and go to the rocky planet. No, not the star. That would be a bad move, going to the star. So let's land here, which will only cost us 4 fuel and no oxygen. Now we've got a drill option, because we're now close to the surface of the planet. Obviously, a gas giant you're not going to be able to land on, so we can only land on planets that actually have a surface. We can send our drill down. I've got the same options, so I'm going to go with 7 again, because I like 7. And this is a terrible planet that's only given us 10 iron. That's a pretty poor haul. And you will get diminishing returns. I can drill again. I could drill to 7, and it would likely bring me up like 6 tons of iron next time. And then it might bring up 3. You're going to get less and less each time. I could try drilling down to a depth of 10, but chances are I'm going to break my drill, and then, hey, I'm going to have to repair that iron again. So let's take off. We're done with this planet. You don't necessarily need to explore everything, but you can find a lot of cool stuff. So let's head on. We are trying to get over here. No, that's a bit out of our range. The blue is the range of stars we can actually see. The green is the range of stars we can fly to, and we're trying to get in this direction in the bottom corner. So this one, star type out of range. I can't even see what it is, and it would cost me a lot of fuel to get there. So this is about as far as we can go right now. Let's go to the red giant, see what the red giant's got in store for us. We can skip the little flight scenes, which is nice, because otherwise you're going to watch a lot of them. I come across a huge metal city floating in space with openings on every side. Each opening is so wide that huge ships could go through easily. In the middle of this city of silence and death, there is a large white halo. Inside I can see a space station looking just like the one I found at the beginning of my adventure. I can look for resources, flying to the halo, or leave the city. I believe I've run into a similar thing to this before. Last time I flew into the halo, it took me right back to the start, so I'm actually going to look for resources this time. I land and look around, nothing, or maybe there's a strange ship hull. By the time broken by time. Inside it I find a new technology. Good. Oh, good. Ha! Got my space folder back. That's convenient, just in case I break my other one. So I've got a rocky planet, rich in metallic ores, rocky, rich, which colour would you like to fly to? Let's do the red one. And fuel could use a bit of topping up, but hey, we got plenty of helium, we'll be fine for a while. So let's drill down to 7 here and see what we can bring up. So now we've got a bunch of new stuff to play with. I've overstacked my iron there, so now I'm going to have to make a decision here. Unfortunately, what I would like to say is, like to be able to do at this point is to be able to go, oh, well, I need to make some space. Why can't I drop that helium in there to make some space? That's, unfortunately, you can't do that. I either have to get rid of that helium to stack one of these and then top up my fuel, or vice versa. So maybe a little planning ahead might have been wise here, perhaps. But that's something that could be easily fixed with a little bit of extra interface, I feel. So we've got 9 thorium, which is actually, that's pretty cool. I haven't seen much thorium before. We've got hafnium and tungsten. Yes, I'm a chemistry student. I know my elements pretty well. So I hope that's hafnium now. Yes, it is. Okay, cool. I would cringe to get that one wrong. Although, The weirdest thing about this game, actually, just the choice of font, I think, is the F. There is no lowercase f, it's always capital F. It's just a weird quirk of the font, I feel, but it's a little strange. So, I'm taking the hafnium, why not? I've not found use for either hafnium or tungsten yet, so I'm sure they've got uses, but I've not seen one. So, I can top up my fuel. Let's do that. Let's make some space there. And why not? Let's clear out that hydrogen so we've got an extra slot there. And we're pretty good. We're okay. We're back up to 85. We can take off with 2 capital Fs, obviously. And forge onwards. So the game progresses in much the same manner. We're just going to slowly make our way forwards. Things are going to interfere with us, and we've got to deal with the situations as best we can. Sometimes it's going to be bad, sometimes we're going to find good things, and you just got to hope you make it there in time. And it's quite a cool little entertaining diversion. Twice a week for 6 hours, I put my ship on quick rotation to create an artificial gravity of 1.5 times that of the Earth. I have to keep my muscles. I lose track of time though. I'm not sure I keep the schedule. My arms have grown thin. I had to change some parts of my spacesuits because it's become too big for me. Is okay. That's absolutely irrelevant to everything, I feel. So we've got another rocky planet. It's got another gas giant. That's boring. Let's go onwards. White dwarf. Sure. What's at the White Dwarf? The White Dwarf has for us in store a huge portal, a perfect ring floating in space. The words Dinadkilak written on the side. So we've also got these alien languages that we will not understand at the start, but as we encounter alien species, for some reason every alien species in the galaxy, by the way, seems to speak the same language, we can learn various words, so as we progress and meet other civilizations, we'll be able to translate these, which I think that's pretty cool, because the first species you meet, you won't be able to speak to them, but you'll pick up one word from them or something, usually. Then the next guys you talk to, you might know the word hate, and they're like, blah, 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 hate, blah, 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 and you're like, ooh, I can understand some things, and you will pick up more words from them. And then the third species you run into, suddenly you can actually get snippets of the actual text, and you can actually, you know, glean a little bit of information from what they're saying just from the few words you understand of the language, which is a pretty cool system, quite frankly. In front of me there's another huge portal, so what, do we fly through the portal? Of course we do. Portals are always fun. I'm thinking with portals now. I cross the blue halo and I come out of an orange one, right? It tickles with static electricity. Why? You should be in the spaceship. You shouldn't be touching the portal. Unknown code lines write themselves on the screen. What's happening? I think my databases have been tampered with. So I forgot how to make my telescope. Let's hope that doesn't break. I forgot to make forgot how to make interplanetary reactor. I hope that wasn't important. But we've made superconductors protection and gravitational well generator. Holy hell, what do they do? And can I build them, is another good question. So supraconductors protection requires a lot of tungsten. I should have picked up that tungsten. Which requires a shield generator and upgrades us with resistance. So I don't think I have a shield generator yet, do I? Do I? I should probably check that. Do I have a shield generator? No, no shields. Flying through space unprotected. So this is an upgrade to shields, which gives an extra resistance if we find it. That should presumably let us get closer to stars and things. Stars, I imagine, are pretty good sources of fuel, because, you know, they're like pure hydrogen, pretty much. So you could just go scoop up a load of hydrogen out of a star. But I think you'd need some pretty good protection to get there. So we've got to make upgrades. We've got to upgrade our ship as we go along. The gravitational well generator upgrades the space folder by virtually increasing the mass quantity, and my screen is going crazy here. I, again, don't know whether that's BlueStacks or the game. I feel it's probably BlueStacks, to be honest, but we get more power to the space folder if we do that. And I can't craft that without a little bit of copper. If we come across a garden planet, we can get copper from a garden planet, so that might be worth my time looking at. There is only one planet here, so let's carry on. Next one. Let's have a look at the red dwarf. So, skip this. Next one. There's a small leak in liquid nitrogen line. I mean, I noticed it too late. Nothing to worry too much about, but the intense cold weakened a hole in a single spot and I need to fix it. So, boom, 2 hole gone, just because the game says, lol, 2 hole gone. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, that's like 1 iron, so it's no biggie, but hey, if you're out of iron, you know, you don't want that to be happening too often, because it could be a lot more than 2, quite frankly. Especially if we were to, I don't know, say fly close to a gas giant for a little fuel, which we are running a little short on, not massively. Could stand to find a garden planet, because garden planets have breathable atmospheres and are your only source of oxygen at this point in the game. Sometimes you'll find chance events that'll stock you up with oxygen, but for the most part... yeah. Oh, come on, 7 hydrogen? What a rip! Yeah, okay, that wasn't even worth the trip down here, I don't think. So let's top that up. Of course, probing to greater depths also uses up more fuel as well, so you need to be able to break even on these kind of things. If I send the probe down again, I'm not likely to even make the cost of sending the probe down. So, nuts this. Let's cut our losses and head onwards. That's a black hole. Do we really want to travel to a black hole? I don't think we do. It doesn't sound fun. I think you can orbit them because I have... Well, I know you can. I have orbited one, but it seems a little strange that you would want to do that. You certainly can't fly actually near to the star itself, but those are sometimes planets and things. Again, how they survive, who knows? But do you know that clouds in space, grey clouds of dust, green of hydrogen, violet ones made of I don't know what? And actually, I will never know because I just got near one. I was hit by a lightning flash that fried one of my devices. And lol, space folder damaged. So now you see... Had I not learned how to make that, that would have broken my space folder because I'd forgotten how to make the space folder from the first event. Had I not picked up the recipe again, I would not be able to repair it at this point, and I actually straight up just wouldn't be able to travel between stars. That would be it. That would be game over. Because random events, like I say, it's a little bit choose your own adventure, a little bit resource management, and a tiny smidgen of roguelike. It's got a great art style, and honestly, the soundtrack I'm loving as well. The soundtrack's really atmospheric. It's got this deep space ambient kind of thing going on. I gather it's by, again, a name I'm going to probably butcher, but Siddhartha Barnhoon, which is not a name I recognise, but apparently they are credited with the Antichamber and Stanley Parable soundtracks, so, you know, there's a good pedigree there. So I can repair my space folder. Whoop, there we go, fixed up. Thank you, Iron. Good job I had some of that. Let's empty that slot because I can. And what have we got in? What have we got in the system? We've got 1 rocky planet. Now let's carry on flying. So the game continues in much this fashion. This is, you know, about the shape of it until we get to our destination, at which point we'll presumably be given somewhere else to go. The beta, which is what I'm playing at me, is only shows you the first 25% of the game. You can pick this up on the Humble widget on the OutThereGame.com website. They've got the Humble widget there for this. You can pick this up for $3.99, and this will actually get you the full game when it's released. But you also get this copy, the beta access now, which you can download through the Humble store. You can either, I think there's the Humble Bundle app, or you can just straight up download the APK, which is how I'm playing this. And that'll let you play the first 25% or so of the game. I think this one stops at day 90. I don't know whether it's hard locked at day 90 or what. The first time I played through this, it stopped at day 90. So you can definitely get a taste for the game, and yeah, it's cool. I'm enjoying this. Normally, I'm kind of a bit put off by mobile games because there's a lot of poor stuff out there on mobile devices, but actually I'm really liking this, to be honest. So the worst situation that could happen actually happened. I miscalculated my course and the space folder brought me close to the surface of the star. Landscape is stunning, with liquid fire storming around. It's about to be a real hell here. It's only 5,000 degrees, which is very high already. My hull twists under thermal constraint. I may die baked here within minutes. Problem is, just between the surface and space lies the atmosphere of the star, where the temperature reaches 1 million degrees. So I can fly away quickly or activate the space folder. What do? I shall... fly away quickly! I push the power to the max to escape the death. I flee the solar flares. Blah 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 blah. Managed to fly out of this hell, but at what cost? Probably most of my hull. Oh, not too much hull. I've lost more hull than that flying near a gas giant before, so... hey, no biggie. Ooh, 1 garden planet. Cool, I want to go there just so I can show you aliens, because aliens are cool. So let's land with the aliens, and while we're here, stock up on oxygen, because that's good. And encounter life. We have a strange glowing city here. And it's a strange branch thing that says stuff we can't speak of, and we are allowed to approve or disapprove of what they say. And again, at this point, we have no idea of telling what that's going to be. So I shall approve. Let's be friendly to the aliens. The alien doesn't want to talk anymore. So I've learned Dinisir, which means God. So if any future aliens talk about God, I will now know how, that they're talking about God. So we can get a drill. Ooh, we can make copper, a bit of gold, a bit of cobalt, oxygen always good. Carbon I think I needed. Cobalt I don't think I needed for anything though. So I'm going to have a look. What can I build now? I could... I'm now running out of things, so... Yes, let's top up my hull with the iron. That's a good way to make some space. And there we can make... I can now make the gravitational well generator. And I can make... That is all I can make. Let's just make the gravitational well generator. I forget what it did, but... Oh, it gives us more power to the space folder. So it doesn't actually stack on top of the space folder, unfortunately. It does take up an entirely new slot. But I've now got 5 power instead of 3. Which I'll be intrigued to see exactly how, if that lets us go further. I presume it must. So let's zoom out to see. Yes, now our green range is huge, although it's not gonna make us any cheaper to fly. We can just fly further in one jump. So it's gonna cost 32 to get there, but we can do this. We have the power, but we're almost out of fuel. Day 72. If anything is possible, if I get back alive, we will have proven that anything is possible for mankind. Okay, cool. So I've got 3 gas giants of varying colour, and they're all going to be my only hope of getting fuel, I think. So, and I'm... Woohoo! I don't have any fuel at all, do I? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I've got 15, which is enough to get down to the surface, just about. And... see how this plays out. I've got 7 is the depth, because it costs 1 fuel per kilometre I send it. I can only send it to 7. And I got 12 hydrogen out of it, but now I need to throw something away. Crud. I have no idea what hafnium's going to do, so let's do that. Wonderful. That would at least give us enough fuel to get to another planet and try and see if that's more effective. So you can see how we're going to get into sort of crisis management at this stage. Suddenly, we're really, really short on fuel, and we've got to hope something goes our way. And sooner or later, it's not going to go our way well enough to actually manage anything. 19 hydrogen. Oh, but the hydrogen probe's broken. So there's lots of... now I need to repair my hull as well, I should note. So this isn't going to last too much longer. I need to repair this, which cost me 2 iron. Then I need to repair that, which still isn't really terribly great. We're up to 47. And I can top up my fuel a little at least. So we're not on the verge of death at this point, but we're not in a great state. So I imagine this game, unless you got incredibly lucky with random events and things first time through, this is going to take you a few playthroughs just to actually finish it. And it's a really cool concept. I'm enjoying it. I'm liking the music. I'm liking the art style. And random elements notwithstanding, that's, some people like that, some people don't. I don't particularly object to them. I liked those kind of choose your own adventure books where it was like, lol, something happened, nuts to you. You have no choice in the matter, so yeah, you know, I can live with that. But other people might object to that, I can see. That's at $3.99, I think this is well worth checking out. So this is Out There by FibreTigre, and this is going to be delivered, I think they're aiming for in about a month's time for this game to come out. But right now you can already get access to the beta through the Humble widget. So thank you very much for watching, I've been Meroka, and I'll see you next time.